Yo, we're live. We are live. Little Teasy Knows, CVO Narrative podcast. Basically, we got to let Flipside set up. I know he just rated. Shout out to DJ Flipside for not only coming on as a guest, but rocking another dope set. He's probably one of the hardest working DJs in the game. For real. Like, streaming every day at 5. That's crazy. Like, I can't even put together a set like once a week. So yeah, shout out DJ Flipside. Thanks for the raid, by the way. Appreciate it, brother. We got mad people and I love it. So just to tell, a little bit about myself. I'm basically an MC first and foremost. Became a DJ under the tutelage of DJ D Double. Yes, sir. Yeah. So just telling them the story, Vince. I don't think they can hear you just yet. But so I learned how to DJ from DJ D Double on a pair of 1200s that sat on top of a pool table. And the reason why I did it was because we couldn't pay rent. I didn't have a job. So that's how I started DJing. And I'm glad I learned from one of the OGs in the game. So shout out to DJ D Double as well, who's in the chat. But looks like we're getting ready. I think Mr. Flipside is in the building in the Zoom. So I think we're ready when you are, Vince. You ready, Vince? All right, brother. We're going to transition in. All right, everyone stick around. Let's bring them in. All right. I see a name. DJ Flipside. Will we see the video, DJ Flipside? There it is. I was like, man, I'm going to talk to this text real quick. There it is. Look at that. Hype train already? Oh, man. Let's go. Hey, you know what? If you ever hear from DJ Flipside's channel, go ahead and just spam DJ Flipside's emotes. You might as well. I know you like them. He's got tons of them, right? What happens when you become partner? Shout out to Flipside. Hey, congratulations on being a partner, man. That's a
story is about and everything like that. So I appreciate everyone who's been riding with me since the beginning of Twitch, and for you to be here for this story and to do this podcast. I'm grateful for you guys to be here and hang out. So
yeah, man. Go. I'm telling you, making partner. So just to give that background, like all of us, creating content on Twitch, a ton of DJs, obviously the DFH crew, all of those cats. D Double, 606, like the whole like old school clique. We all made the migration, right? We came over to Twitch because we saw the potential in the platform, and it's good to see like somebody that's family, like make it to partner, because that just gives us like an actual tangible target to shoot towards, right? It's like then we're like, hey, somebody can do it, right? And somebody we know can do it. That's awesome. Yeah. So, with that. Right, so I'll sort of just give the intro in terms of, what I'm about, what this podcast is about, and obviously how we lead into you. I was sort of telling the story before you came in about just the background on me, right? So, like, I think primarily for me, I'm an MC. Then I started DJing.
No. You're a dope MC.
Oh.
Okay, let's start with that.
I'll take it. Jersey's been hanging in the rafters for like 10 years, so I don't know. We're we might have to bring that thing down. I started DJing because out of necessity. I lived in an apartment, me and D Double, and Strike 3, Rex Keanu from Pacifics. We all were roommates. And I was the bum that didn't have a job. So for me to pay bills, Dave, or D Double, basically gave me the gigs that he didn't want. He was like, you can spin in Cafe Allure on Thursday nights. Opening set.
Those are fun. Cafe Allure was fun.
I love Cafe Allure. Cafe Allure was awesome. Shout out to Cafe Allure. Thursday nights.
If you're from Chicago and you remember Cafe Allure, put some threes in the chat there.
Yeah, throw some threes up in the chat. You remember Cafe Allure. I know you were there. That's where I broke in my dance hall set. That was like, man, I had a lot of practice. Love me some dance hall. So with that, let's talk about you. Let's talk about Vince, the man behind Flipside, right? I think a lot of people, especially that follow you and they have different flavors of who you are, right? They may have started following you just 2 months ago, or maybe they've been following you since the beginning of your career. Maybe they've been following you since you came out the womb. Like, I don't know, right? That's the varying differences, right? So let's kind of start with like where you grew up. So where are you from originally?
So I was born and raised in Hoffman Estates, which is a suburb of Chicago.
Hey,
So
Hoffman Estates.
Yeah,
847?
Estates. 847.
Yeah.
847 for sure. That's the area code. But yeah, I grew up in Hoffman Estates. Lived there majority of my life, and then in high school, after high school, I went to college and went to like University of Illinois for college. And
Yeah, UVI.
I liked it, but I liked University of Illinois, but I didn't realize that I didn't like big classroom. And that was the problem for me, where I didn't like learning in an environment of 700 kids. And, that's nothing to say about, U of I or like their schooling or anything like that. It's just, that wasn't I couldn't learn in that environment. So then I ended up, going to college I got my degree at DeVry. But like during all
which
that,
one? Which one? Addison or Chicago?
Addison for sure.
Hey, shout out Addison DeVry. I went there
Yeah,
for
suburbs.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I started DJing when I was like 13 years old, like doing high school or element or junior high dances, and then like buying records and borrowing records and borrowing equipment, and then learning all the things of like how to DJ, like since the age of 13. So I've been DJing on vinyl, like before DJing was a thing.
Yeah. So, that's some like old school, like elitist in a way, but it's all good. Like, I mean, we've all made the change technology wise, but it's good that you've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what was your equipment setup? Like, what was like, how like today in Twitch, right?
Like the first one, like the baby one.
Yeah.
Ooh, hold on. Hype train. Thanks for the hype train.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
We hit the next level. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. So yeah, my very first gear was Linear Tech belt driven turntable.
Wow.
So that, and then like a Linear Tech mixer that it didn't actually work the way I needed it to. So I ended up getting like a realistic Radio Shack mixer, and then like I ended up getting like another mixer from one of my sister's friends, and then they helped me up or hooked me up with like crates of records, and then eventually like my friends had like techniques and stuff like that, and I didn't own that until I started getting gigs and then earning money. Like I was selling mixtapes, and selling all the mixtapes is what helped me get gear. And every mixtape I sold was $7 because that was the price of a record. So every time I made a new mix, I would buy a new record. And then after I bought a new record, got to make a new mix. So then like I continued to like make mixes all the time, which, in hindsight, that's like training me for like doing radio, of doing mixes all the time and doing, 4 mixes every week and stuff like that. Like it's crazy. And then now doing live mixes and stuff like that. So it all came down from me using like a cassette tape recorder to like do pause tapes and make edits from there.
Yes.
And then like eventually learning about a 4-track recorder and like how to do it like that. So, I mean, I'm in a world of, of that. Like there were guys before me that were doing edits on like reel to reels and like that kind of stuff. But that was before me. So I was able to use a 4-track recorder and make like stuff that was influenced by Bad Boy Bill and Bobby D and like, Chicago B96 legend.
Oh, Bobby D. Boy, I haven't heard that name in a minute.
I feel like Bobby D doesn't get a lot of credit for a lot of the edit crazy stuff that he did. Like he did the jock jams,
Yep. Yeah.
Like all like stuff like that. Like he was super dope. But then, like Bad Boy Bill is a legend in his own too. And then, I had guys like DJ Speed that was doing like all the hip hop stuff. So, Speed was like the main guy that helped me get me to where I am.
Yeah.
Or
Brought
like
you up
to start on the radio and everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out DJ Speed, man. How is he, by the way? I haven't
He's doing
talked to him
great.
in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the homie. So he's still one of my best friends. I'm like the godfather of his daughter.
Oh yeah.
And like, he's got 2 kids and he's still DJing. Well, I mean, nobody's really DJing right now because of the COVID and everything like that. But, he's taking care of the family. He's still gaming, still doing the stuff that,
he probably loves to do still, right? Just
DJing exactly.
And gaming. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I mean,
married 2 kids.
Let's take that statement back. There are people that are really DJing, aka DJ Flipside, right? I mean, come on. It's well, obviously it's just a new era, right? So but if you just to draw a comparison to what you brought up, how you to go back, rewind a little bit, where you were talking about, you would do these mixes, you'd earn this money to get another record, get another piece, right? And then you go back in the lab and do some mixes and earn some money. We're doing it again. So if you think about content creation in Twitch, right? Like to me, like starting the journey, just like you, like I had to get like a new PC, I had to get this little mic stand, and like you're buying all this stuff and you're like hoping like I'm putting this content in, and as the support comes in, you put it right back into more equipment and bigger and better, and so the hustle doesn't change. Maybe the format does.
The hustle doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop.
It just changes.
Yeah. Absolutely, that's correct. That's right. So, again, to everybody out there doing the same, it's like we again have something to look forward to when one of our own makes partner. So if that's the goal for a lot of us, then that's good.
Yeah. But I gotta say that I can't say that I did that on my own. Like it was a lot of help from a lot of the guys like Audio One who's in the chat, and like Heavy, and like all these guys that were on like before I was on officially on Twitch. Like I was on Twitch, but like I was doing things, and it was the sport of all the other DJs when I would hang out with them, and then they would raid me and doing all these things, and they were actually helping me expose like what I do to people who had no idea who I was. So like it's definitely like a whole team of us that have been helping each other out and like learning how to do Twitch better or do Twitch different and stand out and do stuff like that. But it was, definitely shout out to all the guys that have been supporting me and rating me and doing all that stuff, because it's more than just like me becoming a partner. It's like, their help me get there.
Yeah, it takes a village, right? So like, man, I'm telling you, the Twitch community is like, it's different, and I think maybe because it's amazing. It's a burgeoning platform, right? It's not something that's been out for too long in terms of for DJs and music and other avenues. Obviously, it started off as like gaming, but the community is amazing, man. Like the love and the support that everybody gives each other is awesome, and I think. For those who are in the Twitch game or getting into the Twitch game now, it's like you're getting in at this like ground level of it's just growing, and so keep at it, right? Like to me, just a month ago, I couldn't even spell Twitch. Like I was like, wait, what's Twitch? I'm like, I'm on Facebook. Like I'm old. I'm like Facebook. So it's and it's an amazing community. So definitely, I'm glad that we're seeing each other build each other up. But we'll go back. So we talked about how you just came up. Like so you started when you were 13. Started on doing cassette tape pause stop edits, which is such a childhood memory for two. I have shout out to my Iowa little stereo with the 2 double deck. I used to do the same thing.
Iowa?
The Iowa. Yeah, I would like record like slow jams and like other songs on the radio. And then you would edit it to make a mixtape.
It's funny because like the cassette tapes the recorders that you'd have to have had to have a certain kind of pause button in order to pause it right on time and release it right on time. Like, that's a whole nother world that a lot of these cats are never going to understand. But but if you know about which pause button you need to get.
Yeah, it's got to have like that quick release, so you don't hear that. Yeah, no, I totally get it. So after that, right? So you sort of started growing. You were doing the school dances. You're building your following as a DJ. When did you make, I guess, the transition, right? So then you started to do like, was it clubs that did it for you first? Was it like working at the radios? Like where was it that it made the turn where you thought, okay, this is something bigger?
I always thought it was going to be something bigger. Like so I like to set goals.
Sure.
So when I was a kid, my goal was to be on B96. So like as started, back to, B96, we had Bad Boy Bill, Bobby D, Julian Jump Perez, Tim Spin and Shomer, DJ Speed, DJ Markski, Mix and Mark, all these guys that are on there. And growing up, like that's what I want to do. I want to be on the radio. I'm going to make mixes like these guys and do that. So that was like the goal that I set. So starting as in 7th grade, that's my goal. And then as a freshman in college, I actually was able to get a guest spot first. So like I got a guest spot on the Street Flavor, which was a Sunday party, and it was like a 20-minute mix that I did in Sony Acid, which is like a computer program from back in the day, which they still have, but I did the mix in there. So it was like Edit Crazy and like, very Bobby D, Bad Boy Bill influence and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And it went over really, really well. And Speed was the guy who put me on. So Speed was like, yo, I like your mix, let's put it on. And he put it on. He's like, hey, I'm like, dude, I could do old school too. Like I grew up in that. And he's like, oh, okay. So then I did the old school, like an old school mix of like, Brighter Days, Horny, like the Chicago,
all the staple Chicago.
Yeah, Percolator and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And then that was the one that turned a lot of heads. We're like, oh, who is this guy? Yeah. And, then Speed brought me into his world of clubs and, like the way I was opening up for him back at U of I. And then when I left U of I, go to DeVry, I'm like, dude, I'm coming back to Chicago. Let's work. I'll open for you. And, we'll do the whole nights and stuff like that. So then we started doing clubs together and making a name for myself as his opener.
Sure.
And then it ended up being, like Speed's the best, man. He's such a great dude, but he was like, all right, cool. You open up, 10 o'clock till 12. I'll come in and I'll rock it. And then you close it. I'm like, all right, cool. So he would come in for like 12 to like 12:30, maybe 1.
Yeah.
And then I'd play like 1 until 3.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'd do 10 to 12 and then like 1 to 3. But then, as a good opener, you save all the good stuff. You play, and I loved house, so I was playing house in the opening, and then we were the guys that were like, that were playing hip hop in these dance clubs before they were really doing it. So like it was crazy. We're at like a place like White Star, and
White Star. Oh boy, yeah,
and like it was like 80% dance, and then we would put like 20% hip hop, and then eventually, like it would go.
Balance shifted.
It would go 70-30, and then it would go 60-40, and then it became 50-50. And then you would see all these other guys like, what is going on? Because we knew how to play hip hop the way hip hop is supposed to be played. And we knew how to play dance music the way dance music was supposed to be played.
Yeah.
So we were able to find a way to make like their crowd react to the hip hop, so it was cool. And then all these other DJs would start trying to play hip hop, but they were playing it like dance music. So they're playing the whole song through, waiting for the breaks.
No, you can't.
And that's not really how you do hip hop.
Hip hop
so
is quick. Like, you got to hit them. Yeah.
We're flying one verse, one chorus, sometimes just the chorus, doing all that on vinyl, bringing 5 crates of records, all that stuff. And it's cool that like you hear, we felt like we were really bringing hip hop into these clubs, and in a way that wasn't threatening, I guess. So like we weren't playing like the underground stuff. We were playing Biggie. We were playing stuff like that.
You got to ease them in, right? You got to ease
exactly.
them in. Yeah, absolutely.
So we knew what, and then with Speed being on the radio as the hip hop guy, we knew that like what was going to be hot, and we were getting promos and we were doing all this stuff. So eventually people would hear me play, and then they're like, wow, you're actually really good for an opener. Maybe we should have you, headline over here.
Absolutely.
So then I started doing other clubs like Glow on my own, like, White Star or, Custom would close, and then I would end up being the headliner over at Glow in the VIP room, playing all the hip hop there, while like somebody else would be spinning down like on the downstairs,
like the other main floor. Yeah. So
then it was just kind of like I started building a name for myself in the clubs, and then when it came time that there was somebody, an opening at B96, I had kind of made a name for myself with DJ Speed. Dan Morell at the time was there. Bobby, Mark, like all the guys that were there, they knew who I was. So when Speed was like, hey, we got to get Flipside in, they're like, oh yeah, totally, for sure.
Yeah,
so like I was able to get like, I was already, like I said, like I didn't, like I always say, it's like, it's never just me hustling, and there's people that helped me get there, sure. And Speed was definitely one of those guys that was like, yo, I'm going to take you under, I'm going to help you. Like I learned a lot about DJing on my own and like, watching VHSs and stuff like that. But like Speed taught me the game. and like
Yeah.
how to work the game and how to do the networking and
the
how
bigger
to do all
picture.
these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I give a lot of credit to Speed for like teaching me that whole side of it, the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, I mean, as a consumer, like as me being a consumer of DJs or music or clubs, right? That's how we saw you guys. I think, at least speaking for people who knew you from that perspective, like to give you that sort of the time that you were coming up. What year was that? Like when you were doing the clubs and stuff?
Like 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the heyday, right? So like in comparison, me being on the other side, and I think there used to be this line drawn before. It just was how it was. A lot of the guys that like I was sort of coming up with, and we were doing sub T and open mic, and so then there was like this sort of divide. I played.
Hold on.
Yep.
Before you say anything about, let me give you a shout out about sub T on Tuesday nights.
Oh
because
yeah,
that was sub T on Tuesday nights was the longest running hip hop open mic night, like in the Guinness Book of World Records on Tuesdays, and Volteezy was a part of that.
Absolutely.
And the reason that I do classic hip hop and R&B on Tuesdays is in honor of the 303 of those parties. So that's why I do Tuesdays for that, because of that night that Volteezy was involved in. It's sub T Tuesdays.
That's very flattering. But you're right though, and that whole movement, that Tuesday night, that night was like no other. It was and it wasn't because it was
amazing.
Wasn't because there was 5,000 people there, right? It wasn't because it was like this huge packed club. It's this very small, sort of almost unassuming first floor, and then they have this like really sort of nice stage set up upstairs. But the great part about the Tuesday nights was you had all of these MCs coming from all these different sides of the town, city, suburbs, right? And this is a place where they could all get together. There would be no. Oh no, you're good. There would be no violence. There would be no fights, and you had people coming from like West Side, South Side, and it was the one place. It was like the sanctuary where people knew, like, hey, your business, you got business outside of here, that's fine. You guys want to fight and do whatever, you claim sets and do whatever, that's outside. But when they came into Sub T, it was all love. Like they all came in. It was a united sort of affinity for hip hop music, and so with that praise, I almost feel a little guilty telling the story, but you know what it is what it is,
yeah.
right? So
yeah,
how I was saying that there was this divide, and I played in both, right? So I was doing 606, but I was also promoting like for Dynasty, working with Lyle, working with Vic from Ginseng, so doing that whole like sort of Asian party circuit also. So I kind of had to lead two lives, right? Because there was a divide. Like some of the real like hip hop cats would not necessarily be into like going to the clubs because they'd be like, playing dance music, or if they play hip hop, it's top 40, right? So it was like this whole keep it real sort of movement. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, right? And I think as over time, I started to appreciate that scene, knowing how hard like DJs work to put together sets, knowing how hard it is to keep a running weekly going from a club perspective. I mean, all of that, the business, like you said, the bigger game, it dawned on me like, dude, that's just a harder hustle, if not more, right? It doesn't, just because I'm hip hop doesn't make my hustle harder than yours, right? So I think it was an eye-opening moment for me. So that's why when I first heard like with Speed and Flipside, I only was cool with you guys because I knew that part of the scene. But there was a lot of people from the Sub T scene that wasn't feeling it. That was just how it was. But it was a great like melding, and then as we got older and we started to appreciate music for what it was, like, man, I mean,
and it's like I know that there are always going to be those people that are going to be like, oh man, Flipside's a sellout, or whatever. But you know what, it doesn't really matter, because I love what I'm doing, and if it's making me happy and I'm able to pay my bills with it, then it's awesome. And if people are, I love real hip hop too.
Yes.
But then there's like a time and place for it. Like I can play it on Tuesdays or something like that. Or even like back then, like I could play it in my car, or I could listen to it, or, watch it. But I know like at this event, I'm not getting paid to play that. So, it is what it is. I have to take care of what makes me happy and how I can represent what my brand is. So
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
No. Yeah. And that's,
I know I won't let them like pull me down, what
absolutely.
I mean? So,
absolutely. Yeah. And it was a reality of the time. Like, I think, as the scene has matured, as the term of DJs, and now you have this like this term, this open format term, which like to me, again, I don't know how long the term's been around. Open format, it may have been around for a little bit, but that wasn't a term back then. Like there was just DJs who did certain genres, but like you said, there were DJs who could do it all, right? Who could do dance music, who could do ED or not EDM. Well, we didn't call it EDM back then, right? Who could do like house music? Who could do?
We actually like called out the different kind. Oh, you play progressive. We
play
progressive.
Trance,
we play house.
Yes. Man, shout out. You know who reminds me of progressive, by the way? Shout out to DJ Chris Mix. Yeah. He reminds me of progressive because he was a big progressive DJ at the time, so he would always play a lot of progressive sets. That was when people were conked out on ecstasy and different types.
But it was part of the time, you know. It was
part of the time.
I mean, I love like as much as I'm a house head, you know, I love good music. So like I love like those progressive songs, some of those trance songs that were actually really, really good.
Yeah,
bring back those memories. Yeah, like techno, like Floho Gaming says, like techno. Yeah, dude. Techno. I was so into techno and like the Euro aggressive, all that stuff.
What genre of music was James Brown is Dead?
That was techno.
That was techno, right?
Yeah.
There was
that was old techno, like you know.
That's like OG 94, 95 techno. Yeah.
Techno is not that anymore.
No, it's not. That maybe I'm aging myself again. I'm like, that's when I listened to techno. Like those were the tracks. So and that's good. So now you've heard the story how you came up through Speed, you know, helped you, coached you in the game, got you to a different level in terms of looking at this whole DJ game, right? It wasn't just about you know, you playing a club or there was a big business to it. There was networking, which is important. I think that's important for anybody here to hear as a DJ now, even, right? You translate that to the future for a second with Twitch and you say, okay.
So same thing, setting goals. Like I set the goal to be a partner. And then that was my hustle. That's what I wanted. I, you know, was researching everything, researching how to make my cameras look right, researching which cameras to get, researching what capture card to get, what, you know, why is my GPU, what is a GPU?
Yeah, like, right, yeah.
Why does my super beast of a Apple Mac Pro not able
doing
to
it?
handle processing, you know, I didn't any of that stuff. And then researching on what I had to do, that was just all the hustles that I needed so that I can set a goal and then figure out how to achieve it. Now I have achieved that. Now I'm trying to I'll set another goal and just, that's kind of how I live, is always trying to set these goals for my business and what I want to do and what I want to achieve and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's and you know what? Let's not take for granted, because I don't want to set this precedent that we keep saying, "Hey, you made partner." It wasn't easy, I know.
Yeah.
I will say this: only having been in the Twitch game for a few months, you're probably straight up one of the hardest working mother effers on Twitch. Like, you're doing everyday streams. Like, there's DJs right now who are just doing like once a week. I know myself. Like, I'm sort of like at odds with myself because I'm not sure what I'm trying to do yet, like with content. Like, I'm doing podcasts, I'm doing maybe DJ streams, and I'm doing gaming. So like, I don't have a schedule, and I understand the importance of a schedule because it helps you.
It's the importance of the schedule. It's important of what your brand is going to be, because you have to represent yourself as a brand, and doing what you represent, you have to figure out what that is. And Flipside of 5 was such a big thing from B96 for me that it made sense that I can, translate that to something that's familiar to people, so that, Flipside of 5. Oh yeah, I remember that. I was doing that for 11 years. So that was a part of a lot of people's lives where they were growing up listening to me at 5 o'clock every day in Chicago. So that's kind of where the Flipside of 5 branding for Twitch came from, because it makes sense that there's that familiarity of what I am and what I do. But now, instead of being like, okay, this is a B96 playlist of Flipside of 5, now I have control of what I want it to sound like, and what does my fan base want to hear, and all those things. Yeah. So. Well,
funny you bring that, because that was actually, you might be reading my notes. So you brought up Flipside of 5, and that was like one thing I wanted to talk about, because for me, I'll give you my perspective first in terms of how I consumed Flipside of 5, then you can give us the story.
Hold on. Yeah.
Yep. So
I have a fan blowing in my face.
No, that's okay. Hey, man, I get it. Hey, shout outs to the fan, because I get that when you're streaming, and it gets hot, like whether you're DJing, whether you're just sitting here even. And I have a fan that runs under my desk because, man, it gets pretty steamy in here. So
Yeah.
I totally get it. So like flip side of 5. So for me, as a consumer, again, giving the consumer perspective, I remember moving here from Cali. So I'm from here originally. I'm from the north side, grew up north side, born and bred. I left to Cali in 88. And I lived in LA from 88 to 96. And I came back. So when I came back from Cali, now Cali was doing live DJs, live mixes, like they were doing it already. Like there was
shout out to the West Coast and all those West Coast DJs that are doing it, that were doing it live over there.
Absolutely. So when I came back to Chicago, I had this sort of, the bar had been set for me in terms of like DJing, in terms of trends, in terms of like import cars and stuff that was like hot back then, and it sort of migrated to Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And no slight to Chicago, it just, this is how it was, right? So I remember I was like, there's not really any, I don't think there's any live mixes happening. Like when I would listen to the radio, there's not, I would flip between, like B96 and GCI, and there wasn't really like live mixes, So then I remember when I first heard Flipside at 5, and I was like, first off, I was like, is this cat Filipino? Like, I didn't know. To be completely honest, I didn't know. And I heard, and I was like, no, that's dope. This is the type of shit I'm missing. Is that, whether it was lunchtime or it was like an after work type thing, it was like a live mix. And it wasn't like some edited with all kinds of drops and horns and sounds. And it was like just a raw, just live mix. And like you're just playing tracks that you like to hear, and they're all bangers. And it was dope. I was like, wow, that's dope. So that's what sort of brought me into the Flipside brand a little bit. Like, I need to know who this guy is. And then I end up knowing who Speed was. And so then that's how I figured out who you were. But
yeah,
tell me that story of how Flipside of 5 came to be. And what your intentions were behind it, and then obviously where it went.
Yeah, so, before we start with that, it has to start with like the 10 o'clock mixtape, which was before that, which was Styles and Roman had their night where they were on the night show, and they wanted to do a mix at 10 o'clock. So it started with DJ Speed, Dan Morel, and me. So we would go Monday through Thursday. At 10 o'clock, one of our mixes would air, and we'd all come in and be on the mic and like, joke around and whatever. And then eventually Styles and Roman moved to afternoons. So then they stopped doing that show.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, that's cool. And then during Valentine's Day, I said, hey, I'm going to make a love song mix that I want you guys to play at 5 o'clock.
Nice.
And then Styles and Roman were like, actually, it was kind of their idea. They're like, well, you should do like all love song Valentine's Day mix. Cause I was doing them on the weekends for the street mix. It was like, you should do one for 5 o'clock.
Be perfect.
And like,
yeah.
oh, that's a good idea. So then they put it on, and like the phone lines are going off. They're like, oh, this is crazy. This is cool. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. It's working. It's doing good. So then, later on, they're like, you know what, maybe we should do more mixes on Fridays.
Fridays at 5.
And then one of the guys at B96, Michael Bemo, he was like, hey, Styles and Roman really want to have you come and do Fridays. Can we do it? I'm like, hell yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, you're like,
so then I gave them a couple of demos on how it would sound like, and then they're like, yeah, okay. Let's set up some gear and let's do it live. And like, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. So then, yeah, it was Flipside Fridays at first, and we did it for like a month, and it became like super big, and like nobody, like you said, nobody was live at the time.
Sure.
So like for me to come in and do Fridays live, they were like, wow, this is awesome, and it was doing so well that they're like, all right, what's it gonna take for you to come in every day? I'm like, whatever, we'll talk about it. Let's do it. And then we ended up doing it, and they're. After I started doing Flipside at 5, GCI started doing Timbuktu live.
Yeah, I'll pause you for a second, because D Double in the chat was like GCI wouldn't let him do it live. So it's like B96 sort of broke it, like, okay, we're gonna go with it, and GCI was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So we should do it live. So yeah, shout out.
Yeah, well, once we did it live and we were doing well, and then like Tim came in and he was doing it hit live, and Timbuktu is rest in peace. He was such an amazing DJ.
Absolutely.
And Timbuktu was actually one of the guys that was always super cool with me, and like even like regardless of me being Filipino or playing in hip hop clubs and doing all the things that he does as well, he always showed me love as respect of the art of DJing, and not just being like some dude who just plays records, like someone who respects the craft and respects hip hop and stuff like that. He always gave me love to the point where he gave me a hard drive when I was converting to Serato.
Wow.
And he's like, yo, copy this folder, and this will be all you need to get started for Serato. And like, I'm like, dude, here's my folder. Here's all the stuff you need for like dance parties if you need.
Yeah.
So
see?
we like did a trade back in the day. And
again, open format before it's open format.
Exactly. So it was like, I still had like a bunch of like hip hop and R&B stuff that he didn't have, and like, you know, vice versa. And like, so there's still a folder in my Serato today that says Timbuktu. And then I put all these like exclamation points so I can find that quickly.
Yeah,
and
man.
It's still in my folder. It's still in my hard drive, and I still use those records to like those songs to this day, from Bulls games to, you know, this stuff. Like, but yeah, so he started doing live, and then like some of the other radio stations started doing it live. But it's kind of cool that I was one of the guys that
sort of started that movement. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now look at it, like there's a bunch of DJs, you know, representing, which is great, and that's probably a testament again to you starting this movement, and then you've now come back on the tail end of it.
But at the same time, at the same time, it's the same thing. Without the permission of Eric Bradley, my boss, and Todd Kavanaugh, and them believing in Styles and Roman's belief that I can do it.
Sure.
You know, like it's all these guys that believe in what I can do because of how I built my brand, how I've shown them that I'm responsible, how I showed them that they could depend on me.
Yeah.
Like, it was all these things that came together that they allowed me to be that, to have that moment, for all that years of preparation, to have that moment and then excel at it. So
yeah, that's dope. And I keep drawing these comparisons back to now, because all of these sort of life lessons, and this is really the premise of like my podcast in general, is that when I share these stories and these sort of successes and failures and moments, I want like my viewership, I want like my network and your network now, and whoever else's network that watches the podcast, I want them to be able to take something tangible away from this, right? I want them to look at this and be like, yeah, you know what? It does matter. Like, it's not just about playing all the hits, or it's not just about I got all the best equipment, or I got the nicest overlays, or whatever it is, right? A lot of it is also how you network, how you build your brand, how consistent you are, like the substance behind it. Are you dependable? Are you nice? Are you amicable? Are you likable? Like, that's another thing. Like, you got to be likable, right? Yeah. Like, for me, I compensate with having a face for radio by having a radio voice. So at least if I'm not easy on the eyes, you can just close your eyes and then you like the voice. So again, that's exactly what I want to share with people, is that I want people to hear those things and be like, oh, Flipside is not just the stream that I get on and all of the fancy overlays, and there's a lot of substance and hard work that goes behind this, right? And that's what I want people to understand.
It wasn't like none of it came overnight. You know, it came from the hard grinding of, you know, doing well in school, at the same time learning how to DJ, at the same time making mixes and doing soccer, doing all these sports, and like balancing all that, and then hustling to get what I wanted to do. You know, like, you know, I feel like sometimes it's kind of like the movie Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
Where you know, he knew all the answers because of all of his life experiences. So when it came to me doing streaming, I'm looking at all the things that I've done in the past that helped me figure it out. Like when I was on tour with the Jump Smokers with Pitbull and Pitbull and Kesha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They said to us that, hey, we're not going to put you on camera, but we can't pay a lighting guy and a camera guy, like, this is their time to have a break, so we can't put you on camera during your sets.
Gotcha.
So we said, well, can you give us a video feed? Like, can we just send you like an HDMI out?
Yeah.
And then we can use that as like, and then just that way you don't need a cameraman, and then just put lights, like spotlights on us. And they're like, yeah, we could do that. So then I figured out how to use mixing video and using cameras on my computer so that we can have our own webcams on us. And
Look at that.
I would have a webcam on Roman as the MC, and a webcam on me as a DJ, and then we would have visuals that show our logo, our name, our Instagram, like all that stuff, and then also music videos to go along. Like, I didn't play all music videos, but then we would like make special edits and stuff like that that would have videos, and if it wasn't a video, it was a visual of Jump
playing.
Smokers or something like that.
Yeah.
And then if I'm scratching, we would hit a button and the camera would go on me. Or if, Justin's on the mic, Roman's on the mic, we'll hit a button and it'll go to him. So this was all using a Launchpad, Ableton Launchpad, using Serato into Mix Emergency into Resolume.
This is all like jerry rig pretty much. Like you.
Yeah. So it's going through. And then with Resolume, I was able to use the Launchpad and like trigger all these things. But then, I'm using one laptop for this. And crazy. I'm like, well, how do I get two webcams and my Serato and my dicers and like using hubs? Like, I can't use hubs because the cameras won't work fast enough.
Yeah.
So then I figured out if you use a Thunderbolt dock, there's enough bandwidth to use multiple cameras on the Thunderbolt
with no like delay or latency or anything. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So then I figured out, like, this was over 10 years ago, maybe. Jeez. Where I'm doing all this. I'm figuring how can we get cameras on ourselves, and I'm figuring out how to do all this stuff because this is what we needed to do in order to be on camera in front of 20,000 people a night. Like, it's.
Let me pause you. Did I sound smart when I said there's no delay or latency? Did it sound, okay? I just want to make sure, like, I sound legit because.
Yeah. So, but like, it's those kind of things where, like, okay, so now when I started to stream, I'm like, oh, I still have that Thunderbolt dock. So when I was using my Mac, I was like, oh, I could still get multiple webcams on this. Like,
yeah.
So that's how I was doing it at first, was just through my Thunderbolt dock, and I was able to get 3 webcams and going all that into my Mac. I just couldn't encode it because I didn't have the right GPU.
Okay.
But like, it's kind of like things like that. So now, like, I'm trying to do Twitch and thinking about my past of like this Pitbull and Kesha tour, like, oh, I know how to do this stuff.
Yeah. So here, I'm gonna pause because there was a couple questions that came in a little bit earlier, but I wanted to make sure we got the.
Shout out to everyone who is still hanging out. I see you, DJ Urge and Calvin and everyone.
Yeah,
Artists
absolutely.
in the building.
Absolutely. This is two guys talking. Sometimes you're like, I don't know about this.
D Doubles in the house. Floho Gaming, thanks for hanging out.
Man, total encore. All the DFH cats too, man. Thanks for support. Miss Carla, Sub Queen. What's up, Miss Carla?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you done the shot cam with Miss Carla yet?
I don't do shots.
Oh,
I don't drink.
Well, I mean, I guess figuratively, or not literally, because I know you don't drink liquor. So,
then no.
Miss Carla has what she calls a live shot cam. So she will hop from stream to stream, and she will get the DJs that are spinning to actually dial in on a separate phone while they're spinning, and they'll do like a live shot cam with other people. It's pretty funny, and like it's
funny.
Yeah, it people get kind of toasty in that chat. There's a lot of things that are said. I'm like, wow, this is anytime you get liquor and a bunch of DJs and hip hop heads and in one room, it gets a little raunchy. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it's kind of dope. So here, we're gonna take these questions because I think these are pretty good ones that that were asked and we didn't get a chance to get to them yet.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think J-Man, MC2 J-Man, if you're still here, he had asked if there was any upcoming projects, like are the Jump Smokers getting back together?
So we never really split up. We just took like a hiatus.
Yeah.
So like, Roman is still one of my closest friends, and we still talk about making some stuff. I might be making some more original Jump Smoker music. We have some stuff that I'm working on, and some remixes that I'm working on. So like, there's definitely still going to be some JS stuff coming in the future.
Dope. Yeah. I mean that.
I just can't really talk about it.
Oh no, hey, that's cool. It's like we got to keep the crowd's got to there's build up some anticipation too though. So
absolutely.
So no, that's good. So Lombard guy, shout out to Lombard guy, DFH. He had asked, what does partner mean in terms of Twitch? So I'm assuming it's like an actual tactical question on like what are the benefits of partner? Like I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a ton. So I'll just get into like some of the simple ones. For instance, you can have more emotes, which is like for most people, that's why they want to make partner.
Yeah.
So you go from having, 5 emotes to having 15 at level 1, 5 at level 2, and then 5 at level 3. So that's like
it's a
a
ton.
ton more. You could also make your own cheer emote. So like instead, when you're throwing bits, instead of having like the generic like pog guy or the diamonds or whatever, you can make your own image be the cheer.
Be the cheer. Yeah. Custom
So
cheer
like,
emotes.
yep. So that's like super dope. The other thing that's super amazing about emotes, which is what everyone cares about,
Sure.
is when you upload them, they're immediately ready for use. So you don't have to wait for them to get approved.
Instant approval.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So it's like, it's not even approval. It's just like, it's up. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
you
put
just
it up,
you
it's
submit
up.
it's in.
Yeah. So
God,
I
that
was
is
like,
longest
on
48 hours
Monday,
of my life. by the way.
on Monday, I wanted to, be like, surprise, I'm a partner, and like, like do all this stuff. And then it was like, I ended up going into the chat while I was still like of other people's things,
Yeah.
of other people's streams, just to say hi. And, I didn't want to like tell them I'm a partner, but then they slowly started seeing all these more emotes coming up. They're like, Flip, did you make partner? I'm like, I sure did.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I did.
Yeah. So like, I was like uploading more emotes the day on Monday, like yesterday.
Yeah, Monday
like,
was
before the
a great stream.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun because I set a goal and I never really want to always be like, oh, it's all about me or whatever, but I was just excited about like
Dude.
making partner because it was a goal that I had set. So now I achieved it, and so I wanted to celebrate that. And it's not necessarily about celebrating me; it's about celebrating all the people that helped me get there and all the fans that have been watching and coming in and like supporting and enjoying that I'm playing house music or I'm playing like real hip hop or throwbacks or any of the stuff that I don't always get to. I don't get to play it in the club, So I'm grateful that they allowed me to do that.
Look,
So there's that with partner. Once you start streaming, you can kind of stream from, if I read this correctly, you could stream at like a higher bit rate and they will re-encode it for you, but like you get access to the higher quality transcoding.
Yeah.
So that's like your stream's going to look and sound better.
Sure. Yeah.
As a partner.
Quality. Yeah, absolutely.
If you set it up right, or supposedly. And then, so there's also, what's it called? If your friend is a partner,
yeah,
you could do partner streams where you can both be streaming at the same time together.
Man, that's the one thing. No diss to Twitch, but I started on Mixer as a gamer, and Mixer allowed you to co-stream from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just go, yeah, sure. You want to co-stream? Great, go ahead. Add like 4 people and co-stream. So
yeah,
be nice, but I get it though. I mean, I understand. Like it's they made it a perk and it makes people want to strive to get partner status so that you can co-stream. So, but definitely, I think there's let me see, there's another question. Yeah, there's another question. Okay.
Well, I also want to just say, like, if you're trying to get partner status, don't be discouraged because I know there's a lot of people that have like a lot of stats and all this and that, and they got turned down the first time, but they eventually got it. So like, if you get denied the first time, don't let it get you down. Don't get frustrated. Don't, just keep grinding, keep building your brand, keep building your numbers and stuff like that. And, make them realize that they should make you as a partner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's, I'm going to try. I want to go. I want the emotes too, man. So we'll do this before we take the next question. So we kind of had this like speed round set up. I think it'll be a nice little intermission here. So we for the sake of the effects, we'll go ahead and do a little transition. That's not it.
There it is.
So here, quick fire questions. Quick answers. Let's see where your mind's at.
Okay.
Cubs or Sox?
Chicago.
Oh, the PC answer. I like it, but that's okay. I'll take that. But go ahead. I mean, you should root for the city, is what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. I don't segregate.
Yeah.
I'm a Chicago fan. Like I'm a fan of all Chicago sports, and I know people say it's a cop out, but at the same time, like I love Cubs games. I love going to, the team. I know the Sox are like really doing well this year. I also DJ'd for the Sox.
Yeah.
So like, and the same owners as the Bulls too. So like I'm a fan of both because for different reasons.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I can't just say one or the other because they're both great.
Okay. Well, this next question, you're going to have to take a stance because people are going to want to know. Who has the best Chicago pizza?
So I'd have to say Lou's.
Lou's.
Yeah. If you're talking about deep dish, you're talking about Lou's.
Yeah. I mean, I know when I say Chicago pizza, I hate to make the presumption that I'm saying deep dish, but I mean it. I mean, because obviously people say, you know what about thin crust? Like Chicago has a really good thin crust, and they do.
Yeah.
And there's some joints that do that, but presuming I say Lou's. It's convenient because my emote's Lou's, so make sure you sub and get the Lou's emote because DJ Flipside approves.
You for it?
I know. Sponsorship. Where you guys at, Lou's? Jeez. Make sure y'all get that email. But yeah, I'm the same. I'm a Illuminati's guy. Chicago Classic is my stuff. Even though right now I'm on keto again, so I can only eat the they have the crustless. Yeah, the crustless pizza.
The sausage crust.
Dude, that thing is amazing though. But it's just so like you can't eat it all the time.
It's so salty.
It's like just a big chunk of sausage. That's what she said or he said.
Yeah.
I'm keep it open. All right. So Illuminati's. So now that you moved to New York, for people who don't know that you actually moved to New York, there's some people that legit thought you were still here. So
let me say that I live both between New York and Chicago. I fly back and forth. I still rep Chicago, and I will always rep Chicago till I die.
Yes, sir.
But what's it called? There's just opportunities that are here, and then my girlfriend is here also, so it's nice to be able to live with her and not do long distance. It's nice to I'd still fly. Before COVID, I would fly back and forth all the time for Bulls games, for B96 events, 104.3 Jams events, and my family stuff. So I would still be back and forth all the time. But it's nice to get an experience in New York.
For sure. Okay, so then I think I know the answer to this next question: Chicago versus New York pizza. Can you make a comparison, or do you think it's apples and oranges?
It's totally different. It's totally different things. Like it's night and day. And like you can't. They're totally different. They're not even in the same class. Like it's different. They're different. Yeah, it's apples and oranges. You can't compare them.
All right.
They're because there are some New York pizza that's so phenomenal too, but it's just not the same feeling that I would get when I have a deep dish.
Yeah, I like how like some cats who live outside of Chicago, they kind of talk smack to me like, man, you guys got to eat your pizza with like a knife and fork.
Knife and fork, yeah. I don't mind that.
Hey,
though.
we elevate the status of pizza. Like we make it a fancy dinner, knife and fork. You know what I mean? Okay. Do you drink coffee? By the way.
If I do, it's got to be like heavily creamed with a whole lot of stevia. Like,
are you a Starbucks? Do you go to Starbucks or no?
No. Well, if I do, I get tea or I'll get like a French vanilla roast or something like that.
Read me your Starbucks order. Like I'm the barista. What are you ordering?
I would say like, can I have green tea?
You're like, let me just get green tea.
Or if I were to get a coffee, it'd be like, hey, give me like a French vanilla roast with heavy on the cream and heavy on the stevia or whatever.
By the way, for those who do drink, you get like the espresso shots, and then you just pour a little bit of this in there.
Oh, yeah, cold brew.
Cold brew. Shout out to my cold brew crew. DJ Furious, I know you in here, man.
I've been seeing that forever on all these streams. Everyone's talking about cold brew.
It's all about it, man. It's all about it. And really, it's whiskey. It's infused with coffee flavor. So, like, it sneaks up on you. Because you could just be sipping it, and then all of a sudden, done. And then, you're talking crazy on your stream. So
so that's the whole thing is like I'm not really fond of the coffee taste straight up like coffee black. That's not my jam.
That's not your jam.
So like I gotta have heavily creamed, it's got to be sugary. It's got to taste like marshmallows when I drink it.
But I get it though. I had that mode. I think when like Starbucks was like the stuff for a lot of people, I would like my order was like it was like ingredients to like a recipe. Like all these like all these different, like, you call out these different shots. And, like, so right now, my drink of choice, and Dave, D-Double put me onto this. It's a grande ice quad ristretto with 2 stevia and a splash of heavy cream. So basically, it's 4 espresso shots over ice. And the ristretto is like the flavor. It's actually more coffee flavor. You'd probably hate it. But it's like a splash of heavy cream, some stevia. It's
what my favorite thing at Starbucks is is the marshmallow, the Rice Krispie treats.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Those are so good.
Yeah.
I don't know who, like what brand that is, but it's like, it's not their Starbucks brand. It's actually another brand, but it's so gooey. It's like, so that's what I get when I'm at
like
Starbucks.
that.
It's like, yo,
The sweet.
let me make sure I'll get a bottled water and a marshmallow treat.
You're like,
Rice
that's
Krispie
it.
treat.
Hey, man, where's the sponsorship, Starbucks? I mean, we just gave you a lot of press right now. Okay. Well, that, I guess this next question doesn't apply, but maybe you could suggest.
Okay.
Both one spot in Chicago, New York. Best food spot to hit after a night of drinks.
Well, I mean, White Castle.
For
You
sure.
could do White Castle. Okay,
White
you could
Castle.
if you're in Chicago, you're doing White Castle. You're doing, depending on the hour, you're going to Chinatown,
Yes, sir.
or you're going to
Seven Treasures.
Tempo, if Tempo is still open.
Mm.
Like that was the late night spot, or the Maxwell Street.
Maxwell Street, yeah. Pork chop sandwiches.
The hot. Well, I'm a Vienna beef hot dog dude. So
I love Vienna beef hot dogs, by the way.
So here's a quick funny story is that I'm walking down New York just on Saturday with Rose, and we just had like a little picnic kind of thing. We're just hanging out during the day, and then we're walking home, and I'm pushing this cart that has like lawn chairs and like all of our stuff in it and whatever, and we see a Vienna beef hot dog stand.
Oh.
I'm like, no way.
I would like 5 hot dogs, please.
I like ran up to the guy. I'm like, hey, are you serving actual Vienna beef hot dogs? He was like, yeah. I'm like, babe, he's got hot dogs.
Yeah, he's got Vienna beef hot dogs, man.
So then I was like, yeah, can we get 2? And then it was like the end of the night. So it was like the bottom of the barrel of the hot dog.
It's like in the hot dog water, like way down in there.
So he's like, he ended up giving us one for free. He's like, yeah, we were probably gonna throw those away, so you can have one.
Sure.
And like, so we found out that this place is called Emmett's, and they have hot dogs, and they have Vienna beef hot dogs, and they have deep dish there. So if we're craving deep dish and we're in New York,
Emmett's is the
like
place to be.
go.
Okay, man, that's good. Let's shout out to Emmett's then. I'm about to.
Yeah, but if you're talking late night in New York, man, there's pizza joints like for days here. So like you could always stop at any of the pizza joints, and then there's bodegas you can get like. But then like one of the things that everyone told us about is halal guys.
Yes.
So it's like
the
Greek street cart. Yeah. But there's like a particular one that you got to go to because there's a bunch of fake ones, or like they tried to copy them.
Sure.
But you got to go. I want to say it's 53rd and 6th. I think.
You're looking at Rose. You're like, Rose, tell me.
Rose, where's the halal guys? The
original?
Yeah. Yeah. 53rd and 6th.
53rd.
She knows.
Okay, that's good.
She knows.
Good to know. We need to get when this whole madness settles down, because I will say, and I'll reference, shout out to Mark Quavo, his bachelor party. Like, that'd have been the first time that I'd gone out in New York at night. Like I'd never been in New York like that. Like I'd been in New York like either stopping over or during the day and doing like Times Square, but not doing the whole like just walking to all these different like bars and then like eating a bunch of food like at 4. I remember I stumbled back into the B&B like at 6. That was crazy. But New York is next level. Like when
I love that about New York. That there's always things that are gonna be open 24 hours.
Yeah, that's so crazy. So yeah, we need to come back. We need to run that back a little bit.
Once we get back to phase 5.
I know, like whatever number phase we're in, we get back to that. Okay, so go-to music genre to spin. If you had to take one genre, like they said, you can only pick one.
House.
Yeah, and
house music.
Yeah, I think that's a consensus from any Chicago DJ. Even like with Dave. Dave is primarily hip hop. He's like, no man, house for sure. Like that's the
house is a feeling, man.
All roads lead to house. That's what that was.
It's in our blood.
Quote.
Being born and raised in Chicago, it's like house is like you could not know the song but feel the vibe right away, and like it doesn't have to have lyrics to understand what it's doing. You know, and like I can hear something where it's just a bass line looped forever.
Oh my god!
And I'll just be bouncing the whole time.
It's like if you want to stop a fight in Chicago, just lead them with boom,
play Percolator,
and you play It's over, and then everyone starts dancing. No one's fighting, at least for that 3 minutes. So, that song, geez, will never go away. Twitch flavor of the month. So if you had to pick, like I'm sure, and again, I'm not trying to slight anybody else that you support, but off the top of your head, name a channel, besides mine, Name a channel that's like that's doing it for you. Like you want to tune in. Like you log into Twitch just to check out what's going on, and you're like that channel.
I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah,
there's
of course,
so
there's a
many
lot.
guys that are doing stuff like.
But this is more like
Miles Medina does brunch. That's so fun. Like him and his family are like just chilling, having brunch, and he's just playing dope tunes. Jay Espinoza is another guy who just doing super dope stuff. He's crazy, you know. And then you know, I like a lot of guys for different reasons. Like I like watching Ferris's
the morning
his stream.
Yeah.
Well, just his stream in general because like he's hilarious.
Yes.
So it's more about the way he interacts with the people, and like we always make fun of him for his 50 Cent thing, or,
Winnie
you know,
Fitty.
all these things. Yeah, you know, but like it's just, you know, there are people that are awesome at putting on a show. There's people that are awesome at talking. Like I like Neil Jackson is funny because he's not really mixing. He's just here's a dope song.
I watch him a lot too.
He's just talking to people in the chat and
cut the volume, talk.
Yep. Just so much. It's like the simplest thing. So like if you think about like all the gear, the money that you put in gear and the time and the talent, that sometimes it's the simple things that are like really being successful. Yeah. Like Calvin was DJing by the pool yesterday and he's like, if I get 5 subs, I'm going to do a belly flop. And then so sure enough, somebody gifted 5 subs right
off the bat. It wasn't even like a 1-1-1. It was like 5.
What? This just happened. And then so he had to run off and do like belly flops, you know, like there's definitely a lot of, you know, I like hearing people that are playing stuff that I don't know, but when I hear it, I'm like, ooh, that's dope.
Yeah.
You know, like Aiden Scott will do that sometimes. He'll play like some of these funk remixes that I'm like I know the song, but then that remix is sick. Or like, you know, there's a bunch of guys that, you know, there's a lot of DJs that are just playing songs.
Yeah.
And like, I don't necessarily see where, either the flow of the mixes are or like how they're trying to be different. So like so there's like whether it's a different remix or if you understand from this song to this song to this song, there's an energy level that goes up or down, then you understand the process. But if there's just things coming in from left and right, I don't really get that unless like there's a story that you're trying to tell with the lyrics or a story you're trying to tell with the energy. It's all about having these things connect in a certain way that it makes sense. And whether it's you're trying to connect to somebody's like memories, like, oh, I play this song because you haven't heard this in a long time, or you know, like, or I'm playing this song is brand new, you should hear it. You know, then you know if you're if you're saying it before prefacing.
Yeah, it's a tricky word.
Yeah, if you're you know saying it in a certain way, then it makes sense. But like but I mean maybe it's just me because then there's people who just want to hear the songs that they know. But I want to make sure that if I'm playing stuff that there's a vibe, there's an energy, like it's all about the vibes. So like today's Tuesday mix, it wasn't like super high energy classic hip hop. It wasn't like Scenario. It was, you know, like Jay Dilla stuff and like, you know, Tribe and stuff like that. So you kind of felt like there was a vibe that was going up and down and like it kind of made sense with the flow. Yeah. And that's kind of what I enjoy when I watch other people's like other people playing, like even someone like JMKM, like she has a great selection and but she interacts really well with the chat.
Dope.
Like she's not doing anything super technical, like not juggling or scratching. She's just playing songs and it's just a lot of fun. Same thing with like Miss Ninja. She's got like a whole lot of library where like she's playing everything.
You can dig in there,
exactly. So I'm hearing like I would hear stuff on her sets that I'm like, ooh, I had never heard that remix, or I haven't heard that 80s song in a long time, or that I understand why that song is being played with that song because it makes sense. Like there's you know, things like that. You know, there's definitely a lot of guys that are doing things that are special.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to say shout out DJ E-Rock. Thanks for the follow, by the way, sir.
Yes, E-Rock is in the building.
E-Rock in the building. I was on that stream when he was on front page, and like his viewers jumped to like 13K. It was amazing. I was like, holy cow! Like I would have had like straight up virtual stage fright. Like, I was like, 13,000 people? Yeah, I don't know what to do. I'd tell a joke and take my shirt off and have people laugh for 10 minutes. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
But
E-Rock's a pro though. You know,
That's-
E-Rock's been doing radio for so long. He's been
Absolutely.
doing clubs. He's been doing arenas. He's been doing like all these things that are like so huge that like when it comes down to something like that, it's the same because
Yeah.
you're still DJing in front of a computer. So you don't see 13,000 people. So, you know, he's a pro. He knows how to handle that. He knows how to, oh, yo, what's up, bub? You know, he can do it. He's got the talent. He's got the skills. Mad love for E-Rock. So he knows what to do. You know, exactly. It's just like radio.
Yeah.
You know, like
you're just playing.
you have 3 million people listen to you, like
Right.
in Chicago, like when I'm on Flipside at 5, like, you know, 3 million people listening, but like,
You just playing.
I don't see them.
Yeah, it's just you playing, and you're playing like what you want to hear, what you think is gonna be dope, and people will react regardless. So yeah, control what you can control, right? And that's
exactly.
It's
if
a key
I make
point.
a mistake, I'm the only one who sees it.
Yeah, you're like, let me run with just run
other
with it.
DJs might hear it, but like the average person might not catch it. But you know, like, but you can't. Yeah, like you said, you can't psych yourself out on that. Like it's you're playing it. You know, you're playing for these people, but you also know that they picked you to be in that position for a reason.
Right. Yeah,
You know,
you're there
like
for a reason.
being on radio, you have, if you know, they wouldn't just throw you on radio if you didn't have that, like that talent or that things. And, you know, E-Rock being, you know, he's a partner. You know, he's building all of his followers and, you know, he's playing in front of all these people, but he has that experience. So he's not worried.
Absolutely. And, you know, I know I caught the DJ Furious's podcast, and he had E-Rock on there. He dropped a lot. There was a lot of knowledge dropped in that podcast, so I appreciate that. Would love to have you on, E-Rock. Would love to get a perspective of a Chicago head following a DJ on the West Coast and having that conversation. So, would love to get you on. So what we'll do is the last question of the speed round. Wasn't really a speed round, but it's good because this is all that input. Like this is the stuff we want to know about you. Some of the viewers probably want to know about you, and not just you know, not just the stream. So. I would say we'll do 2 more. So there's one more question, which is the hot song right now that you can't stop playing. Like there's a track. Everyone has a track that they're like, I'm gonna play this shit every time because this song is dope.
It kind of varies because it could be house. Like there's like a electro song that I really like right now. It's like Felguk. It's called Move. But it's like
you
like
played it on Monday. Oh my god.
Yeah, I fucking love it.
I think I sprained my neck. Like I was listening. I was like, oh yeah, and I was making this weird face.
It's got a funk to it, you know.
Yeah.
But like if you're talking, like I still really it's stupid, but I still like the Doja Cat Say So, but the Snake Hips remix. Like that remix, there's just it's so girly, but there's just something about it that I love.
You like it, yeah, for sure.
And it's not new, but like that's like one of the ones that like comes to my head.
All right, well, and so with that, we'll end the speed round. But I think, and I don't want to overlook. I know I wanted to run this about 20, 30 minutes. We have a surprise. So, anyways, thank you to everybody who stuck around till now, and we'll make it worth your while. I think in the last few minutes, there's a surprise. There might be something that'll happen that you may or may not get excited for. We'll see.
Should be fun.
Should be fun. So now, like, just to step back now. So we've gone through your upcoming, and then quickly through the club circuit, Flipside at 5. We talked about you sort of personally and your interests. And let's sort of like now fast forward a little bit to right before Twitch. You're obviously doing like you're DJ for the official DJ Chicago Bulls, right?
Yeah.
And with US, is it US men's soccer or US women's soccer? Or
it was both actually.
Both. So both just US soccer, period.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was so much fun.
Talk about that. Like how did you land them? Like how is it like spinning for or being a DJ for those like sort of sports celebrities? I'm a big sports head, so I'm fanboying already. Like, take me with you. But yeah.
So we can start with the Bulls. So that was an amazing opportunity. So before the Bulls got a new entertainment director, and her name is it was Michelle Harris. Now it's Michelle McComas. But before she was there, my boss at B96, Eric Bradley, was actually in charge of the music. So he was like, he's like the program director of B96. He's actually, Eric Bradley is a legend in radio. So like people all over the country know who he is. And so he's such a nice dude that when, they brought in the new entertainment director, she is from Chicago, but lived in New York and like worked for the Knicks for a while, and then came here. And they're like, well, what, we need to have DJs. Do you suggest anyone? Because Eric Bradley, you know, obviously being on B96, having his resume, being a part of the Bulls, he knows guys. And he's like, yeah, Flipside for sure.
someone.
Like, you got to have Flipside. And then, you know, per further discussion, I was like, let's bring more people on. Let's bring Metro and Marquis, who was a part of the Jump Smokers at the time. So it first started off, it was the three of us as DJ Metro, me, and Marquis. And so when Michelle heard about us, or she was like, okay, well, yeah, I know Flipside from Flipside of 5 and from the summer bashes, like they, you know, she knew who I was already. So, you know, there was a quick interview, and then we're like the first in-game DJs for the Chicago Bulls for
That's
like,
dope.
so we don't just do like walk in or walk out. Like, we play the music during the timeouts.
Yeah.
Like, we organize each, like when they're talking and they have contests, we do game music for that. We'll also create like musical beds that they can use in game that they have somebody else doing, like called from Click Effects, which is like just push a button and like, play
like they have like preset
like
sort of like sounds or effects or whatever, and they can just push it and go.
Yeah.
I'll admit, I remember I was in one of the boxes with a bunch of coworkers, and you didn't know because you were spinning all the way across somewhere. And I remember I was like just like fanboying hard, like when you got on and like DJ Flipside, I was like, yo, and I'll tell my coworkers, yeah, I know that guy, man. That dude's family. And they're like, man, you don't know that guy, man. Get out of here. They were like calling me out, like, you don't know him. Stop. And I'm like, they're like, if you know him, let's go see him. And I'm like, well, I don't know how that works, man. Like, I can't just walk around, but let me talk to him real quick. But yeah, I remember that. And that's dope.
Yeah.
It's the Bulls, just from a sports perspective. Hopefully we can turn things around. We're still young.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah. So I mean, so that was like the first year, and then we said like it was a lot of games for the three of us, and we were like, well, let's bring on J Funk.
Yes.
So then we brought in J Funk, who is like the ultimate wedding DJ. So like I was thinking that
did my wedding.
His expertise would actually work really, really well. So what the great thing about having the four of us DJing is all of us have their own style. So if you're a season ticket holder and you go to every single game,
you get all
you're
the
not
flavors.
going to hear like one style the whole time. Like everyone has their kind of love and the way they see timeouts happening and the way, you know, so we all are music coordinators / DJs. So we coordinate how the energy is in the room essentially.
For sure.
And luckily we've been there, for, 7 years, I think now. So like, we have a trust with Michelle, but she kind of knows that what we're doing, or she'll give us advice of like, okay, let's, we need this, what to do, let's go. So we're on the same page on stuff like now. And it's like, she's one of the best bosses that we can ever ask for. Cause you give her a suggestion.
Right.
Excuse me. We'll give her a suggestion and she'll be like, yes, that's awesome because of this, or that might not work because of this. It's not like I'll shut you down and like, oh, that's not gonna work, and then not tell you why. She'll give us like why she likes it and why it will work, or vice versa. And that's like something that a good manager will do, or good.
Yeah, you got to be able to ebb and flow with the people you manage, right? Like you can't just be authoritative and give orders. You have to be able to take feedback, to take from your team.
Yeah, and she's always open to do stuff.
Yeah,
so it's super great to work with people that are like that, and like she won't yell at you, and like if you're something's not right, she's it's great to be working with a team. And that's the same thing with B96, where that team is like really awesome, and then the people that I work with at the Bulls are really awesome as well. So.
Sorry, Coy. Hey, big shout out to Spain, by the way. Coy Fabiosa,
yes,
staying up.
Coy's still awake.
Staying awake. I appreciate you. He said we don't have a hydrate, which is true.
Channel point.
I need to improve on the channel, but I'm growing, Coy. If you had seen my first stream, it was like a straight up Zoom call, right? And it was like nothing else. It was no overlays, there's no effects, didn't have no commands, didn't have a mod, right? So but point taken. I will hydrate on. So. Cheers to you, sir, for staying up all the way out in Spain. Appreciate it. And also DJ Table Turning, by the way. It's funny. He drops this comment and says, the voice, or the radio voice. And immediately, like, my voice went down 2 octaves. So like he had said it, I was like, yeah, thanks, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Right, so with that, talked about the Bulls, and I want to touch on the soccer because I think that's an important thing in terms of not just a Chicago footprint, that's a national footprint, that's an international footprint, right? So
yeah, well, I mean, so U.S. Soccer is actually based in Chicago, like the home base. So so what happened with there is actually my brother Stein, he actually runs a soccer club, and it's called Elite SC, and one of his players ended up working for U.S. Soccer. And then the guys that were there, like, man, we really like DJ Flipside, like the DJ from the Bulls, and like, you know, they knew me from the summer bashes and jingle bashes, and they like that, the summer bashes and the jingle bashes for the B96. Those are like staples for Chicago, you know. So like for me to be headlining on those and like doing all these opportunities, again, all this exposure that they recognized me it's like I'm so grateful for it. And they were like, man, how do we get a hold of DJ Flipside? And then the girl was like, my brother's player was like, hey, I know his brother.
You're like, yeah, here we go. I got the plug. Yeah.
Like, you know his brother? So then she reached out to my brother, and then they reached out to me, and then we made, you know, I had at the time I was still signed with Scam, and I had them, you know, like negotiate it with Scam, and then we made it work. And the guy that I work with, his name is Aaron, and he's like amazing. Another one of those guys where it's just like when I'm working with the Bulls and I'm working with Eric, I'm working with another great guy. Like, where, you know, he's got positive feedback. He tells me everything that I need to do.
Right.
And like, and he's just fun, and he's a FIFA player. So we would play FIFA all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So what it was is anytime the U.S. had a home game, like in the States, they would fly me out and then, you know, pay for flight, pay for hotel, and pay for some food. And then I would DJ. And then like, then I could hang out. So there were times where I would end up running into some of the players, and I would hang out with the women's national team.
Wow.
I ended up
Jealous.
making up.
Alex Morgan, sorry, I'm a super fanboy.
I hung out with her. She was really nice. She was funny, man. Like, they were all partying after a game. Like they just demolished some teams. So
yeah.
Like, all right, let's
like
hang out. So like I got to hang out with all those guys, Megan Rapinoe and Carly Lloyd and all those people. And
that's dope.
I ended up making good friends with Casey Short, who's the Chicago player. She's from Chicago.
From Chicago, yeah.
She's from Chicago. She played for the U.S. team, and then unfortunately she didn't get to play in the World Cup. But then she's playing like in all this stuff now.
And
she also
like
plays
tournaments.
she plays for the Chicago Red Stars as well. So shout out to Casey Short.
Casey
She's like
Short.
super dope. Like I ended up making like friends with her, and then I walked into you know, with the guys. Like I talked to Landon Donovan for a second.
Yeah.
You know, and he was showing me love. Josie Altador, like all these guys, they all were like, wow, we could really tell the difference when you're here. Like, so that's always good. The girl team, the women's team, they're like, we love when you DJ. And, you know, it's so much energy.
I wish the U.S. soccer team said that about me, man. Damn.
But you know, it was so much fun, but at the same time, I don't know if they're just saying that to say that, but like,
no,
I'd like to believe.
Stop it.
But yeah, but then they wanted to do something that where they wanted to have a girl DJ for the women's national team. So I recommended a friend of mine from San Francisco whose name is Amy Robbins. So she DJ'd for the San Francisco 49ers. So now like, it's kind of like I was able to like not pass the torch, but like, you know, if they're going to have a girl, I want to make sure I recommend somebody who knows what they're doing.
Someone, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So like, so Amy Robbins is like the DJ for them from now. So now, whenever they have an opportunity to bring me, they'll bring me. But then if they want to bring her, it's all the same. So it's
interchangeable in terms of the quality, maybe different steez, right? Because Amy's Amy and you're you.
But. Exactly. It's just like having Metro and J Funk and me, like it's different, but now you still have quality. You still have quality, but they have their own styles.
Yeah. Speaking of J Funk, and I'm gonna toast to you, J Funk, JJ, who did my wedding also in 2009.
Yes.
who still
Where I
admitted,
was there.
yeah, who still admittedly uses my playlist.
Yes.
Because a lot of my playlist was like a lot of oldies, and so he was like, yeah. Every time I would run into him, he'd be like, yeah, I use your playlist for like weddings and stuff. I'm like, thank you. He had coined me as one of the most anal grooms for music, because when we met up, I gave him a spreadsheet of like yeses, nos, maybes, and then depending on how the crowd was, he was like, what the hell? He's like, I've never had anybody give me like what to play exactly. And I'm like, look, I get it. You're a DJ, and I don't mean to stomp on your role as an artist, but I too am an artist, and I'm a musician also, and my day, man. So like, I want to.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I think it's different as a wedding DJ where they're hiring you like to do a job per se,
for sure.
as opposed to like, unless like sometimes I'll do a wedding where they'll hire me to be me, not to be their wedding DJ, but to be me.
No guardrails. They're like, here, be you.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Here's an hour, the nighttime party set. This is where we want you to just do you. And then they'll hire me to do that. Cause I would, as much respect as I give all the wedding DJs, like I couldn't do like some of the stuff that J Funk does.
And the
yeah,
MCing,
man, like I give
and like
so
all
much
the other
credit to these
setup.
guys. Yeah, like I butcher names on Twitch. Like, can you imagine me at the wedding? Like
you remind me low key. That's one of my favorite parts of your stream. Is like, and it's not even a slight to you. I just think it's great that you embrace it and you run with it, which is like, sometimes you get these names and the puzzled look on your face when you get a name and you're like, thank you for the follow. Like, low key, that's one of my favorite parts of your stream.
It's funny though, because I don't want to disrespect anyone that's
absolutely.
that's following me.
Sure.
But you choose your name.
Yes.
So
right. It's like you. You know what I mean? Like, if you name your child XXYZX, like, what do you expect me to say? I can't be like just like sell it. Like, yeah, I know how to pronounce it. So no, you're right.
But I don't want to, because I'm so grateful that they're there. Like I just make sure I say, hey, I'm sorry I butchered your name, but thank you for being here, because I'm glad that they're there.
Absolutely. So with that, right? So we kind of almost come full circle, and I think there was a lot of things we left out, but I think this is the reason why I know I can bring guests back to touch on like specific things, because it's hard to encapsulate your whole journey in like an hour and a half, right? And so we sort of took some of the highlights based on questions and things. So it's good, because I think it leaves it open to discussion for a part 2 and a part 3. I know Dave, since Dave is probably the resident old guy. How old are you, Dave? 60? So Dave,
dude, why would you do that, bro?
That's
so not cool.
Oh, Dave knows how to tease, man. I respect him as an OG, and so I like to tease him. But man, he has so many stories to tell that when I did his episode, there were so many things I left out that we just didn't have time for it. So I would say the same for you. Like, there's a lot of things we probably didn't touch on that we probably should, but it's just one of those things where, hey, we'll give you a little bit, right? We'll give you a little slice, and then the demand is there, and you follow, you sub, you do all these things, and you get more, right? So that'll be from when you become like Ultra Partner and you have like 10,000 followers. Like, I'm gonna bring them back, and then maybe I become a partner.
Then we'll raid you with all these people
with 15,000 viewers, and I just then I have to take that piece of advice back from E-Rock and be like, this is just a radio show.
Yeah,
don't think of the crowd. Don't think of the crowd. Just do it.
It's not a Zoom where you can see everyone,
Right. Yeah. Like, it's virtual. It's just a number on a screen.
Exactly.
So with that, like, I think coming back to the full circle before we get to our surprise, I kind of want to just now in the present day, some of the things that you're working on. Obviously, you're doing Twitch. You're doing the stream. I know that you have some edits coming. You have some music coming. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so officially tomorrow, the King Marie My Lonely DJ Flipside remix is supposed to be coming out tomorrow. Yeah. But Spotify messed up and released it last week. So it's out.
It's already out there.
Yes, but we weren't supposed to be pushing it until I don't remember if it was supposed to be tomorrow or Friday, but we're going to start pushing it like heavy. And so she put out an EP of like remixes of her previous EP.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's track 3 on the EP, but it's a house remix that I am so passionate about. Like, it's definitely a different sound. It's different sound from I recently released a song on True Musica Records called what's it called? All Night Long. And that was like my ode to like a Chicago funky jack and house. And so it's totally different.
Sounds like a
from
t-shirt,
that.
by the way.
Yes, which I do have merch, djflipside.com/store.
Absolutely.
So yes, it's such a good, it's a different vibe. It's almost on a Disclosure type vibe. And I love it. It's different than any of the stuff that you've heard from me.
Yeah.
And that's why I really like it. And then I also have a song that just came out about 2 weeks ago with an artist named 2DB. And the two of us collabed, and then we reached out to one of my friends. Her name is Chanel, who is actually a worldwide famous singer who just hasn't really quite broke it in America like she should have.
Like an international sort of presence, but
yeah,
need to
she's
get her
like
in here.
huge in Asia. She's got like all the hits all over the world, but then she just hasn't quite gotten it here. But so we did a song called Northern Lights, which is like a future house record. And, it's already been added on a bunch of playlists on Spotify. So we're getting some numbers on it. So thank you guys for all supporting it. It's available on DJ City, which is also another company that I work for, is DJ City. You can find a lot of my edits on there. And, there's in terms of music, those are the top 3 that I'm pushing. And I'm working on some originals and some other remix that I'm waiting to get approved. And then I have some other things that are like stuff that I can't really talk about until it gets approved. Because that's how the process kind of is.
Yeah.
Like with some of these big artists, some of them I was lucky, like with Jump Smokers, where they reached out to us and they're like, we want you. So it's for sure, blah, blah, just do it and we'll do it. But now, some of them, they're like, yeah, we want, like some of the really, really big ones. They're like, well, we want to make sure we'll give you an opportunity and then we'll see if we like it. So it's called Spec. But so I have one that's on Spec right now that I'm really excited about that hopefully will work out. So that'll be awesome if it does. And then just doing the Twitch stuff and
y'all
streaming every day, Monday through Friday.
Y'all make sure you get on Flipside's Discord. He dropped a couple of edits in there. Which thank you, by the way, because dope tracks. I get to in my little sets and record sets and upload. I get to put them in there now, which is awesome. So make sure y'all follow.
All the subs, all the people who sub to my Twitch channel, if you go to my Discord, you get access to a secret section that's called, Flipside Bootlegs and Edits. And there's I put a bunch of stuff up there for people who sub to my channel.
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, I might have to bite your formula. But when the followers get up, you know what I mean? I want to do my own Discord because I do want to be able to give just like mixes back, or even dare I say it, I've been getting a little interest in doing tracks again, like recording tracks as an MC. So
bro.
Even the last episode with Pacifics, me and KP from Pacifics, we were talking after the stream, and he was telling me yo, this is kind of cool that you did this. Thanks for bringing us out. And I'm like, man, let's just do it. We got time.
There's no better time than now because you can sell it on your own on Bandcamp if you really wanted to.
We don't have to burn CDs from one burner PCs and then drive around and sell them out the trunk. It's different now. It's a different game. So perhaps we'll do that.
SoundCloud, all these, Chance the Rapper, man. Yeah. SoundCloud didn't have a label. Now he's killing it.
I'm telling you. So I think this is a good segue because I think this gets to our surprise, right? So it's a surprise because we talked about it, but I wasn't sure if I was going to do it, and I think we're going to do it because I now have signed up for doing it by dropping that surprise early. So
sounds like it.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a little something, little musicality collabo here. So if you want, my mods. If y'all ready for this, this is next level because you don't really see this on Twitch. Maybe you do. I haven't seen it.
I've never seen anybody do this ever. Yeah. So this is gonna be the first time, and it's actually live. It is not.
Yeah, this is live. No practice. Bogus. Nothing. This is all live. So if you're ready for this, go ahead and drop all your Flipside emotes in there. If you got my emotes, drop them. Drop whatever emotes. Let's get this hype train started because.
Wait, let me explain what this is right now.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
All right, so all you guys that are watching, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for subbing. Thanks for throwing Volteezy bits. Thanks for getting everybody going. So because you guys hung out to the end, we're going to do a special freestyle where I'm actually going to do freestyle drumming.
Yep.
I'm going to drum tracks, and then he's going to rap on top of it. None of this is planned.
No.
This is all top of the dome. We're going to get super hyped. We don't know how the sound's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it may sound like crap, but hopefully it's good.
It should be awesome, but we need you guys to participate in this. And what Volteezy is going to do, he's going to freestyle, but then if you guys, oh shoot, you got to turn off emote only in the chat.
When we get to that, turn off emote only.
We need you guys to put some funny phrases that he's going to freestyle.
Yeah, random words, whatever comes to mind, and I'm going to try to get to all of them.
Yes.
But we'll just run with it. It's going to be freestyle. There's going to be mistakes.
We may go for a minute. We may go for 2. We may go longer. We'll see how the flow is.
Yeah.
I may fuck up a lot.
Hey, you and me both.
Too.
You and me both.
So we never practiced this. We're just going to do it and have a lot of fun.
Let's roll. Let's do this.
Let me get my... Make sure you can hear this.
Yeah. Let me stretch. Ugh.
Can you hear that?
Yes, I can hear it.
All right, I'm going to turn off my mic a little bit so I don't hear the clicks here.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready in the chat? You
Y'all
guys ready?
Y'all ready? Yeah, it's off the top. Let's go.
All right, let me start this beat and then just feel it and get ready for it.
That's it. Let's go. Check. 1, 2. Oh man, that's it. It's like this, y'all. It's like that, y'all. It's like that, y'all. Undecided. It's like rap, y'all. Flipside with the boom bap, y'all. Off the top of the dome, I'll be representing, hitting with the popular poem. Drop a word in the chat so I can rap. Kanye for prez, not that, nah. He can stick to producing tracks, but I don't want him at the government with that. Like dropping off the top in this. Represent 312 to 606. It's like that. Fertilized duck egg. Balut. It's whack. I've eaten it once. It's kind of salty. But yo, I keep on going because this cat is all these rhymes. Off the top the dome. This. Represent the Dean's List. That's the old crew. Me and D double. Yo, I keep on going because yo, this steady trouble. It's feeling like this. It's wrote and I feel real hype because it's stoked. It's the freestyle. When I rock on rocks and represent Volteezy on Xbox. COD, Call of Duty. Flipside on the beat, getting in that booty. Yo, this track is kind of nice. But yo, I'll represent All-Star Weekend was nice. Yo, you DJ'd that. You the Bulls official DJ. I'm the MC and I replay rhymes off the top of the head. But yo, I keep on going because I'm kind of sick and I'm dead. It's like this. Sick like the Heimlich and stay on point like Kirk Heinrich. I'm Gordon. I'm scoring. I'm Jordan. I'm boring. It doesn't matter. Yo, I got wordplay and I got patterns. Deep dish pizza, yo, man. This shit is spattering. Lou Malnati's, yo, it's strike 3. Peace to the Pacifics. Peace to propaganda, G. It's like that when I rock off the top. And this cat said 3K. 3K? Is that a resolution? My restitution? It's a revolution like a MLS soccer team. Yo, I represent because, yo, MC's a steady fiend for the style. Scratch golf. I wish I could, but yo, my 96 is my handicap. I'm whack. I can't even drive straight. I hit balls up into the lake. Water. I'm not good at golf, but yo, I like swinging the club because I'm like that. Yo, I'm losing it, but not. But yo, I'll represent because this shit is kind of hot. Me and you, Flipside, we gonna make some cash with the subs and the biddies and the dash. It's like that, y'all. With the biddies, throw them in the chat, y'all. So I can keep it on rap, y'all. Chi-Town, yo, we represent that, y'all. It's the city for the biddies. Yo, it's the Chicago city with committees like this and that. Yo, I represent fat. Yo, I keep on going because my style like that. I'm kind of sick like MCs who get COVID-19, get put in the hospital, dropping these ill type of rhymes and keep on going because the timing is perfect. Need to hydrate. Yeah, I got that cold blue crew. Hey, let's take that shot. Ill type of style. Yo, keep on going. Beats kind of nice. And Deliver like the Nile River. I shiver, deliver. Ill type of literary styles, stuttering, but I'm buttering MCs like toast. I keep on going because I'm not worthy like cats that don't have 4-2 on their jersey. Peace to the West Coast, the best coast, it's the fresh coast. D double with the bitty love. Windy City, Windy Fitty love. Peace to DJ Furious. It's like that because he's talking about bangos. That's real furious fish with a lot of bones. Represent because I take it home like ill type of style. I be on some OC shit because you lacking all the minerals and vitamins. I'm like the niacin in your multivitamin. Drop off the top in this, and you want to talk about West Covina in this? Nah, I used to live there back in the day, but I keep on going because it's Taco Tuesday. Looking at the words, carne asada. You want beef like my man Mos Def said. Tsunami burrito. I love to try it because I need to be there in San Diego. Need to fly up on a plane. Beat Kimmy Goma because I can't complain. Ill type of style. Keep on going because I float like gravity. I never had a cavity. That's that Tribe Called Quest type of vibe. Microphone check 1 2. It's Jabba laughing because I got some biddies. That's my alert. But keep on going because I'm rocking it and I'm stopping it because my flow is not really rocking it. Or maybe it is because I keep on going because y'all know the biz like Marquee. These guys want to talk about cheese fries at Susie's. That's my joint, boy. I'll tell you. I apologize. Number one, that's different. It's different because you watch the chat and the visual is like distracting. So I used to full disclaimer, 10, 15 years ago when I was rhyming, I used to do it, right? That was my thing. I used to freestyle and people would drop words and I would freestyle about words. And I look at the different format. I never practiced this before. But when you're watching the chat, right, and you see words fly, then you see emotes, then you see all kinds of other shit. And I'm like, my brain is locking up. So, but I appreciate it. Thank you all.
How did that sound?
Was there a delay? Was it off? This is the first time we try to do this. So I think this might be a segment and perhaps, we need to keep doing it and refine it. I want it to be something that provides some value to y'all. So anyone take video? No, I mean I'll post it. I'll post it, J-Man. I'll download it and get it up archived on YouTube and Facebook and stuff.
That's awesome that there was no delay. So
that's dope.
It's weird though because I hear you.
Yeah.
In a little bit of a delay, in a little bit of a delay. Yeah. Because you're hearing me late because of the latency, but because you're the host.
It's a line for me. Yeah. So it's off for you a little bit.
It's a line for them, but it's so funny though. It's still pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah, we need to work on it.
Yeah.
So it was something we just came up with this. Not even last night. We just even entertained the idea of doing this, but didn't know how it would be logistically. So.
I didn't even realize I had my low cut on the whole time.
Yeah. I was like, I can roll with it. It's fine.
Can you hear the low end?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Damn, because I had it.
Oh man, that's awesome. So hey,
my fault. I messed it up.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, look, this is what happens when you live stream, right? You gotta improve and get better. So, look, on behalf.
If you guys like that in the chat, throw some bits,
throw some biddies, throw some emotes, do whatever, man.
That was live. I don't think I've never seen anybody try to do that before ever in different locations.
I'm sweating.
So. I think we made history.
Yeah, and like I said, we're gonna make it better. I think right now, again, like I told you before, how taking the jersey down from the rafters. I sent it up there 10 years ago. So I was done with emceeing. But you know what? This whole Twitch, this whole reinvention of myself, and just all this content that's coming out, everybody's just doing their thing. I'm getting back into it. I'm loving music again. I'm realizing again that, man, I missed this for a good 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, we just did real hip hop, MCing and DJing.
Yeah. Beat juggling, making a beat off of scratches and then freestyles. So we just need, again, it's just a timing thing. It's a refinement. And I think it's something we need to build on. So you heard it here first. Everybody's here. You heard it here first. Don't let nobody tell you any different. So with that, Vince, thank you right? Thank you for coming on, and obviously, you know, with the raid and all of that, but just thank you for being my guest and sharing a lot of this stuff that we talked about, because like I said, it's nice for people to understand or hear those stories and hear the things that you were doing behind the scenes, right? And that it's not all glamour and glitz, right? It's like, sure, look, great stream, beautiful, and you got all these followers, and it's all hunky-dory, and you got subs and biddies, but no one understands the grind and the hustle sometimes that goes behind it. So it's good to actually bring that to the forefront. So
yeah, you know, thank you again for having me, giving me an opportunity to talk to like everyone who's been following and all the people who have been supporting and subscribing. And it's don't, you know, I just want you to let it be known that I am grateful. I'm ultimately thankful that everybody that's been watching and tuning in and throwing bits and throwing subs and like being a part of the Flipside fam. And it's been great. And I appreciate you guys. And, you know, it's, you know, I just made partner and I'm just thinking that it's the beginning. So I want to do more. I'm going to be coming back to Chicago. So I'm going to be switching up like how the stream is going to look. It's going to be pretty cool. And yeah, I'm ultimately grateful for everyone that's been here and supporting. And thank you for staying from the show to the raid and watching me talk. I do have a question though. Like, is anybody even interested if I were to stream me playing FIFA? Like, is that even, I think what I want to do is, like play like my mix for the week, like with just my mix from 1043 jams, and then like get a couple games of FIFA in while people listen.
Yeah, and I don't think why not. Your brand is strong enough. So here, I'm gonna give you not even a tidbit of wisdom. Maybe I'm just reminding you because you probably know it. And this is something that I told a friend of ours, a mutual friend, Christian, DJ Kid Chris, when he said, "You think if people would feel it if I stream like skateboarding? Because I'm not that good." And I said, Christian, they're not there for the skateboarding. They're for you. It's what you're doing, right? It's you. You're the brand, right? Whether or not you're doing FIFA or you're eating a cheese stick. I mean, it's just they come to see Flipside. So yes. I think you're good.
Well, I think, you know, since I made partner, my numbers don't I have to worry about my averages.
Yeah, hey, fair shake, fair enough. Maybe we build.
That's what I was worried. I was like, I'm not going to stream video games until I actually make partner because you worry about the average because you have to have a certain amount of average of people watching before you can make partner.
Yeah, but, that makes sense. So somebody said I DJ and then you rhyme next time. That'd be funny. Cause
you DJ and I rhyme?
Yeah. Good luck.
I could.
I'd play an instrumental. I wouldn't even like try to juggle anything. Like, here you go, boom. That's it. Okay.
You can hit beats though, like on
a little beat pad and make like a
Kai or something like that.
Oh, a little break beat. Why not? Right?
MPC.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm telling you, my brain's full of ideas. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that offline. We'll talk about that offline for sure. So on behalf of Vince, thank you again. Thank you for everybody out there. I can't even begin to list all of the people to shout out because there's so many people putting out so much good content that we're really trying to make this sort of Twitch movement even bigger, right? And like slowly but surely we're bringing people over, whether it's from Facebook or IG or, you know, and they're starting to understand that there's so much more to Twitch than just it's another platform. I think it's
that was the big thing, was getting people to come over. It's
still the biggest challenge.
It's still part of the challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, I started with 3 people watching me on Twitch, you know, and now I'm almost at 3,000 followers.
Yeah. So that's it's crazy. I'm almost at 200. So okay, we're getting there. We're making moves.
Yeah.
So I'll give the whole list of shout outs. All the 606 fan, Propaganda Movement, Pacifics, DFH, all the DFH DJs as well. So what's up? You're about to shout someone out?
Yeah, no, I just want to say that, you know, we're gonna raid Tocino Tuesdays.
Yeah. So if y'all stick around, if you guys have never seen Tocino Tuesdays, they're on some other shit. This is like a different concept. It's dope.
They're amazing.
It's dope. Shout out to the homie Geronimo and Mark Delro.
Delro.
Yeah. So with that, y'all stick around. I'm gonna prompt this raid real quick. Tocino Tuesday is all one word, yeah?
Yes, correct.
All right, let's do this. Y'all stick around.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you for hanging out. Look out for the next episode coming up with your man Dale Taldi from Top Chef. If y'all don't know who he is, he was on Top Chef Season 4. He was on Top Chef All-Stars. He's the homie. He was a sous chef to Morimoto, and he has 3 restaurants in New York right now. So he will be my next guest. I will announce the date on all my social media platforms. So thank you for following. I appreciate y'all. Love the follow, subs, biddies. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Thank you.
Tick for the raid, and it's an invalid name, so gotta keep typing. This is the perfect
/raid at space at
space at. That's you know what? I forgot the at. See, this is what you get to see behind the scenes, right? Like what happens when they do a raid? No, it's not. Wow. I've done this before.
Are you spelling Tocino correctly?
Yeah, TOCIN. So /raid at TO.
Thanks again for everyone who's hanging out.
Yeah, and it's still hanging out right now.
And
Tocino,
during the emotes.
Is it Tocino Tuesday? That's why. I had
It's the whole word Tuesday.
Yeah, I had Tocino Tuesdays. Here we go. Yeah, maybe that's the fob in me. Tocino Tuesdays with an S. So stick around for the raid. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you follow, sub. And then I'll see you guys probably on Flipside stream tomorrow, 5 o'clock. What's Wednesdays? I forgot. That's Way Back Wednesdays?
Way Back Wednesday. Oh, yeah. See? The
branding. I'm branded, bro. Come on now. I'm so branded. All right. Raids incoming. Here we go. Boom. Let's go.
There it is.
Good.
Good job.
Hey, man. Hey, I appreciate it. Let me.
There you go. I have it loaded up, so I'm watching them.
Oh, perfect.
So the raid came in.
There it is. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I can hit stop stream now, right?
Yep.
All right.